Okay, so here is the non-Uber version of the Invincible, or like the Giga Clap Barb. So none at all, no stones, no gear. I actually just did a tier 100 with this one and forgot to take the stones off, so we're doing it again. This is only a tier 90. I say only a tier 98, it's like essentially the same thing. But I've wasted all of my sigil dust trying to get a tier 100 again. We're testing too many builds these days. But this is a nice, simple, straightforward build. There, of course, will be a planner in the description below to follow along with. But this is super strong. So for anyone who likes that Hota type play, this is going to be a really, really good build for you to start with until you get those Uber uniques. So just going to hold right-click and just walk through all of these enemies, no problem. And it's a triple shout. Basically just pure Hota build. Now, I do have charge on the bars there, and you're probably wondering why, but it's not for charge as a damaging spell. It's actually just so I can break out a CC when my shouts are on cooldown, because, man, the shout cooldown is pretty chunky this season, so, you know, we're having to kind of play around that a little bit. But I don't need a basic skill. My resource is more than easy to maintain. I'm going to have to kill those guys. I don't know where my pet's gone. It's like disappeared. I can't see it at all. Where's he gone? Where the hell's me pet? What happened to me pet? He's just AFK. But we're going to try and challenge ourselves to taking no health damage through this entire dungeon as well, to kind of live up to the Invincible moniker. Not going to be doing it slowly or anything like that. We're just going to see if it can do it. And my pet's being a bit weird. I've not got the best gear in the world, so movement speed, it's not as high as it could be. My reses are not capped. I think a lot of my aspects are pretty much like, you know, mid-rolls as well. A lot of this is just due to me putting together so many builds recently and testing a lot of different things. In terms of like things you can do to make your gameplay better with this build is maintain your berserking. We have Berserk Ripping, Blood Rage. That will give you berserking if you kill bleeding enemies, and then we also have Relentless Berserker. So once your berserking's up, you want to try your best to maintain it. And my game crashed. Am I alive? Am I alive or am I dead? That's not the build's fault. I think my computer just shit its pants. All right, we're back. That's not the kind of thing that you want to happen on hardcore, but, you know, is what it is. We actually had a dungeon reset, so I just got back to where we were, sort of, you know, about to get through this door here, so I didn't waste any more time. This is now the third attempt at getting this video done, and it's midnight. Let me go, game. Been having bad luck here, but let's finish this one off, because I want to show you guys the boss. I think it's important to see how well it can do there. And then we can quickly break it down afterwards, go through the skills, go through the Paragon board and all of that. But again, of course, like the build planner will have all of this in there as well. I do have to waste 30 seconds running around here like a moron because we have this event. Oh, that was really bad. I should have been keeping my barrier up. Almost got smoked there. All right, boys. You want to fight? Let's go. All right, let's fight. Let's fight. You wanted to fight. I was just trying to, like, get out of here peacefully. So that's the thing about this build. I may have mentioned it when I was playing last time, but you need to keep your actions up. In order to maintain that barrier and stay effectively invincible, you need to be pretty proactive with jumping from fight to fight. You need to keep spending fury. That's what's going to keep you alive, so you really need to be on the ball there. Running around like I was there is pretty dangerous because you're not doing that. You're dropping berserking as well. All kinds of things are going to start going wrong for you quite quickly. Shout cooldown's pretty rough, but, you know, martial nerf. What can you do? Alright, and I think the boss is just around here. Run straight through. Get it done. Oh, this is beautiful stuff. I think I just smashed him in one hit. There we go. So, I mean, yeah, you can see, like, my glyphs, not exactly high level. 16, 15, 10, 221s there. And my gear isn't exactly fine-tuned for this build either. And I'll break down everything now about how it all works. But this is definitely not as powerful as it can be. But as you can see, essentially, As long as you're paying attention, you can run through tier 100s without taking any damage whatsoever. One-shot everything in your path. And, I mean, you can even hit, like, well over 50 mil with this build. Or at least I'm with this, you know, pretty substandard gear. It's good, but it's not as good as it could be. I wouldn't be surprised to see, like, 70 mil plus. So you can, like, 2-shot, 3-shot Dorial as well. And the attack speed means that's going to be, like, less than a second. So very, very, very powerful season starter until you start getting uber uniques. But yeah, let's go through the build. It's a pretty generic setup for an overpower Hota build. You've probably seen this a few times with like Yorit, Spanish Lords, and Ring of the Fuhrer. As for aspects and stats, I will refer to the build guide as always. Like I said, my gear isn't perfect, so a lot of these things are just things I stole from other builds to make it work. But it will all be in there in detail for you to check out. But the big important thing in this build is actually temerity. And the reason that is because they've kind of changed the way, or they've changed the way that the interaction between the overheal and a lot of passives work. So it accepts other sources of healing it didn't before. And for us, that means that we can basically keep that barrier up all the damn time. And that also means that we can use Conceited, which is an incredible damage boost. 50% multiplicative, we'll take that. Unrelenting Fury is our primary source of restoring all of our Fury, which is really important because we're not using, you know, we're not using Charge plus Tibolt's Charge just there for a CC break. We're also using Tempest with Resource. This is helping keeping our Fury up. Like, this is really good. Almost, I would say, too good. So we're getting like, what, 20 Fury every 0.8 seconds? It's crazy. Crazy, crazy regen. And then some damage reduction. Then we got Flash of Adrenaline over here with Duration and Tactical, so we have this up permanently as well. So no Uber Stones, no Uber Uniques, nothing like that. This is a very obtainable build for most people. And then we'll move into skills, but there won't be too much of a surprise here for a lot of people who've played a Hota build before. So we have Hota, Furious Hota, a lot of DR here. We have Unstoppable, Rallying Cry. We only have 1 point in on Shout here and only 2 over here. Buffing them up a little bit. 1 point in charge again just to get us out of CC. Our Berserk buffs as well. Again, there's really not that much exciting going on here. This just is a very powerful setup. So, you know, it just works extraordinarily well. But this is massively important. You don't usually take this all of the time. But this is what makes us stay alive forever. Because before, Invigorating Fury wouldn't count as healing toward temerity. Now it does. So every time we spend 100 Fury, we get 10% of our max life. And if we're at full HP, it becomes overhealing, which then allows us to generate that barrier. We have Raid Leader healing us when our shouts are up. And then, you know, we can also spam health pots whenever we want, which is a huge, huge boost of healing. And you can basically, like you saw, sustain that barrier throughout pretty much even the spiciest fights. We are running Dominate. Mine wasn't even active that entire time. We have Crusher, Might, Ire, and Exploit. So pretty much all offense stuff. And that is working perfectly well. I'm not finding that I feel too squishy as long as I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. And then we've got the Max Fury board here. Some All Resist. Blood Rage, of course. And we're going up into Bone Breaker. And we're picking up a lot of stuff here. Decimator, of course. But again, this board will be there for you to follow in the build planner rather than going through every single point. Finally, for weapon technique, we're using a two-handed expertise, and for weapon selection, it's Hammer of the Ancients. It has to be the hammer. And for charge, I mean, it really doesn't matter at all because you can't change the way this interacts, and it's not there for damage as well. So not too much to say on that, but that is the build. Let me know what you think about it. And as always, you know, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Diablo content, especially Barb builds. That's kind of the thing here. And to all of the Twitch subs, all of the YouTube members and the Patreon members, thank you for supporting this content and making it all possible. I can barely speak anymore. I am dying. It's very tired. So I have to love you and leave you. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.